Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Corin, also known as the Kitten Choreographer, and I am a teen with a passion for makeup and kitten rescue. Today's video will hopefully be going up before Sunday because I want to get 2 videos in this week, but if it doesn't, it does not. So I don't know what day you'll be seeing this video, but it's up. Hi Minnie. So today's video is going to be another makeup video, and this video is going to be a makeup declutter. Now, even though I don't get paid to do makeup reviews or I don't get sent anything in PR, I do have a lot of makeup. I've been gifted it a lot by friends and family. I've bought a lot of makeup with just my own money. And so I have a lot of it, and I just cannot use all that I have. So I did a declutter recently just to try and pare down the amount of makeup I have because I have way too much for anyone to be able to use, and some of it I was just never reaching for. So we're going to talk about what I've decided to declutter today. Now, I'm not going to do like an overhead style and show all my makeup products because that's just hard to do with my setup, but I have pulled out all the makeup products that I'm going to declutter, and I'm gonna show all of those to you today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna end with eyeshadow palettes and kind of start with everything else. So I have 2 boxes here, one with eyeshadow palettes and one with everything else. So let me just randomly reach in here to grab all these products. So the first thing I'm gonna declutter is this CoverGirl Instant Cheekers, Instant Cheekbones. Weird name, there's part of a sticker on here. And you can see this is just a little blush. I will do some swatches. It's a nice blush. I really did like this blush for a bit when I used it. The swatches aren't great, but it is a nice blush. But the thing is, it's pretty old. The packaging's pretty cheap. It's starting to break. I've had this for like several years, and I have a bunch of other blush formulas in a very similar color to this that I just reach for more. So I decided that it was just time to pass this on, and by pass it on, a lot of these I will be attempting to find homes for them, not the lip products because that's kind of gross, and most of the lip products I decluttered are old anyway, but some of the eyeshadow palettes I'll try and find other homes for after, you know, sanitation. Most of the cheek products I decluttered are pretty old, so I just decided it was time to pass this one on because I wasn't reaching for it. The next one is also a blush. This is from Wet n Wild. This is really old, and I know that because 1, this is discontinued, and 2, it has a little cruelty-free symbol on it, and Wet n Wild is not cruelty-free anymore. But this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Pearlescent Pink, which is less of a pink, and it's more of like, I don't know why I'm holding it like it has a mirror, it doesn't. More of like, it's very peachy in real life, and it has a little bit of sparkle. It is a nice blush, but it is a really nice blush, but the thing about me is I don't wear peach blush often. I don't really like orange. I don't really like peach. Peach is better than orange, but I still don't reach for that kind of stuff often. And I have other peach blushes in my collection that I was reaching for more. I didn't reach for this for over a year, which is pretty embarrassing just because it's not a brand I like to support, and I have other peach blushes that I like the formula more and that I like the brand more. Next up is going to be a mini of the Hoola bronzer. I bought this because everyone was raving about it. This was forever ago. I must have been in like middle school when I bought this, and I just never reached for it, and the reason for that is it is way too dark for me as a bronzer, as anything like Hoola. Like, maybe I could make Hoola light work, but I don't support Benefit anymore because they're not cruelty free, and this, it's hard to get a brush into, which that I would look past that if it was a good shade, but this is not a good shade for me, and it doesn't work for me, so I'm gonna pass it on to the trash because it's really old. The next product I'm going to be passing on is this Too Faced Blinded by the Light Prismatic Highlighter. This I really did like at one point. It's not a good highlighter for a blinding highlight. It's really just like kind of basic, but it is arguably kind of pretty. I used it on natural makeup days because it's not very blinding, but nowadays I don't really do natural makeup days, and if I do, I'm not really wearing highlighter. That's just something like my natural face provides, like a little bit of oil, a little bit of glow. So I don't really need highlight if I'm not wearing much like foundation or concealer or anything. I just wasn't reaching for this, and it's not very blinding, and when I do a full face of makeup, wow, I said that weird, I do prefer a more blinding highlight, so I wasn't using this. I'm just gonna pass it on. The next product I'm gonna declutter, I actually do like, I just don't use it because I have a lot of other products in my collection that I like a little bit better. And this is the Mulan Make It Last Setting Spray. This is very, very old, so it just needs to be thrown away probably because it's expired anyways. I would have kept it had I not had 3 Urban Decay all-nighter setting sprays. I had one that had a lot of product in it, and then I was gifted 2 more. So I have a lot of those, and I'm keeping all of those because I know I will go through the Urban Decay all-nighter, but because I had that and I like it a little bit more than this, I just knew I was never going to reach for this. But I do think this is a very good alternative to the Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray. It just, I don't reach for it. So there are a couple eye products that aren't eyeshadows, so let's move into those. The first one is this NYX 2-timer liner, and the reason for this is that I had heard good things about the NYX eyeliners, the liquid ones and the pencil ones. So when I saw this at the store, which it basically has a black pencil liner on one side and a liquid liner on the other side, I got this because it was only a couple dollars more than the full-size liquid liner, and it came with 2. I thought I was getting a great deal. Well, the liner in and of it, the liquid liner, it was decent, but it dried up within like 10 uses or so. And this side, it's just super bad. Like, I am digging to get a swatch, back and forth, back and forth. It is an awful eyeliner. It's just awful. And it's weird because I like the NYX pencil liners just as the pencil liners, and I haven't had a problem with those. I really like those, the ones that sharpen, but this twist up one is just atrocious. And I just got a full-size NYX liquid liner because my Colourpop one's about to run out and I'm not really buying from Colourpop right now, so I thought I'd try that one. I'm kind of hesitant because I had such a bad experience with this one, and this is just going to be thrown away because the liquid side is dried up. I think, haven't touched it, yeah, it's kind of dried up. It still comes out a little bit, but definitely not enough to get a full line, and this is just awful, so this one will be thrown away. Then I have several of Colourpop, either Super Shocks or Colourpop Jelly eyeshadows that are just dried out. I think I actually only have 2. I thought I had more. But this is the Colourpop Be Our Guest Super Shock Shadow. And you can see I did really like this one at one point. I hit pan on it. You know, it's a really nice shadow, but it's just kind of dried out. And this used to be like, it's definitely like, it's fine, but it's not like shimmery or sparkly anymore, barely. I kept this and loved it for a long time because it was a really unique shade in my collection at one point. Mickey, stop playing with the paper, please. But now it's just not that special, and since it's not, it's like barely has a sheen. It's not sparkly, so I know I'm not gonna use it. And this, I decluttered. I basically got the entire Disney Villains collection with Colourpop when it came out. And I really liked everything for a long time. These jelly shadows were really pretty when I first got them. I decluttered most of them a while ago because they dry out really fast, and that's why I don't recommend them, because they dry out so quickly. This one survived because it wasn't as dried out as the others, but now it's super dried out. It is, I kept it around longer because it's a super pretty color, but like I'm digging in here and it just like, the payoff isn't there. It's super old. Let me try and swatch it, but it just like, yes, it's kind of pretty, but it's like, it's a shell of its former self. It's a shell of what it was when I got it. I used to love that shadow when I got it, but now it's just like, man, it's all dried out and crusty and it needs to be thrown away. Another eye product I really did like, one of the very few products I got in an Ipsy box that I liked. And I used to get Ipsy like several years ago, so I'm surprised this is still around in my collection. Well, it's not anymore, but it was. And this is the Sahi Cosmetics Dubai Cream Metallic Foil Eyeshadow. I loved this. I have pan in it. I did really like it, and arguably, like, it's still not dried out for being kind of a cream eyeshadow. It's still really pretty. It's a great, like, topper shadow, but I was trying to see if this was still available and heard some really shady things about the company. So I was like, well, I really like this, but I have similar products to it that I'm just gonna use more than this. So I would just decided to throw it away because it's kind of broken. It's gotten a good life, so I'm just gonna throw it away. I also have this Morphe liquid liner that is supposed to be glittery. And I don't really like pot liners like this. I prefer my liners to be like drawn. Don't know if that made sense, but like I would survive it if it, I don't know if you can see, if you look up close, it does have tiny glitter specks, but when you swatch it out, it's just a really kind of sheer black. I don't know if you can see the glitter particles in that or not. It's not super glittery though. It just doesn't look very good on the eyes because the glitter doesn't really show up, and it just looks like a sheer black eyeliner, which I don't really want the look of. So I'm gonna throw that away. Next up we have, which come in a lot of declutters, I see a Stila Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. These are very pretty, but I don't use them enough, and it, you can't see that swatch. Let me swatch it somewhere else. It dried out. It is so dried out. I have one more that is not dried out yet. I'm gonna try and get some more use out of that, but those are gonna be a no for me to buy again because I know I just don't use them enough and they dry out really quickly. So the last eye product I have is this Makeup Forever Starlit Glitter in S111. And I got a set a couple years ago of some really pretty loose glitters from Makeup Forever, which I don't support Makeup Forever anymore. They are not cruelty free. I still have a couple of them because they're really pretty, but I just don't use loose glitter a lot. And this one's just kind of poofy everywhere. I just wasn't vibing with it. A couple in the set were more shimmer pigments, and I still have those because those are a little bit easier to use. But this is kind of a finely milled glitter that I just now somehow got on my eyelash. But yeah, didn't want that anymore. So that is it for all the eye stuff. So let's go into lip products. The first one, let's start with the newest lip product that is making it through this declutter, and this is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise Gloss in a Moment. Let's talk about this gloss. I was so excited to try this gloss because when I swatched it, it was gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it down here. I have a lot of swatches on, but it's this gorgeous, like rose goldy gloss. It is stunning on the swatch. And then you smell it, and it just, I don't know how to describe the smell, but it just smells gross. I want to say it smells like, I don't know, it's not like gross as in like poopy or chemically. It's just like, kind of smells like glue. That's the closest thing I can get to describing it. And you put it on your lips. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't like this gloss. And it looks stunning. It's a really stunning shade, but it's like grease and chunkiness, like chunky glitter on your lips. It's not anything but grease and chunky glitter. I like a lot of e.l.f.'s products. This is not one of them. The next thing is actually a lip liner from this set, and the lip liners from this set are decent. I'm not much of a lip liner person despite having a lot of them. I honestly should probably have more in here. Those might not make it through the next declutter. But this is one of the lip liners from the set that came in with the gloss. It doesn't say what color it is, but it's basically like a brownie nude. And I have a Colourpop lip liner in this almost exact same color, and I just like the Colourpop formula more, so I kept that one over this one. Lip liners are not something I need to have multiple colors of, in different formulas even, because I don't use them all the time. Next up we have more Morphe products, which Morphe is definitely a brand I do not support, but I have bought from them a couple years ago. And this was a set of a lip liner and a lipstick. This is a lip liner in Petal, and the lipstick in Hey Sugar. And these are both pretty colors. I don't like the Morphe lip liner formula that much. It's just kind of scratchy. And then a lipstick. This lipstick is fine, but it's not incredible. I like the colors, but I also have them a million times over because I like the colors, you know? Next up, we have a Winky Lux lipstick, and it smells nice. I like Winky Lux as a brand, but this lipstick is kind of more sheer. This is in Partate. I think some of the words have worn off, so I can't tell what it is. But, yeah, this is kind of like a sheer lipstick, and I didn't know that when I bought it. I just picked it up on a whim at Target once, and I've only worn it a couple times, despite having had it for like a few months. It's just too sheer for my preference. I'm not really into sheer lip colors like that, so I'm decluttering that one. This one is a CoverGirl lipstick. I got it when I went to New York at the CoverGirl store, and they had this option to customize lipsticks. You could print whatever you wanted on it, and at the time I was using my dead name. I'm just covering it up. I put it on the tube, and I don't want to use this lipstick anymore because it has my dead name on it. Nice pinky color, but I have the colors again. The formula wasn't an absolute standout. It was good, but not an absolute standout. And because it has my dead name on it, I'm just gonna throw it away. Which, if you wondered why I covered it up, like, yes, it is on my channel in some of my older videos, but I don't want to make it known what it is to new people. Like, if they find it out, that's fine, but I'm just not gonna say it or talk about it if it's not necessary. Now I'm gonna go to a MAC lip gloss. This is just a clear MAC lip gloss. I hate the MAC lip gloss formula. I tried to put this into like a project pan, like an unofficial one, but this lip gloss, it leaks. It's sticky, it's goopy, I hate it. I got another clear lip gloss from Tower 28 that I like a lot more. Knew I was never gonna reach for this one again, and so it is going by. So this is a really cool sheer lip stick from Japan. It's a Japanese brand. My aunt got it from me like a while ago when she went to Japan. You can see it's very sheer, and it's just, I used quite a lot of it. I used to like it quite a lot. There's not very much left, but I just am not into this kind of thing anymore. Since this, yeah, it smells a little off. It's probably expired, so I'm gonna toss this one. This is a very old one. This is from the first Disney collection Colourpop did, and this is a lip gloss in the shade Bibbidi. And the thing about this lip gloss is it was originally gold with clear sparkles, and it's almost used up. But back when I first started doing makeup, and even up until like like 6 months ago. I didn't know that you aren't supposed to like re-dip the lip gloss. Okay, maybe like a year ago. I didn't know you weren't supposed to like apply a like semi-clear lip gloss to a colored lips and then like put it back in the tube, because that will like change the color. So you can see this was supposed to be a clear lip gloss, but it's right there. You can see it's not clear with gold shimmer anymore. It's just like a weird pinky color. So I'd put this in like makeup I want to use up, but then I found that I just couldn't do it because I had this like atrocious pink color gloss on my lips whenever I tried to apply it. So there's that one. This is a lip formula that I do like, and I would have kept this had it not just like dried out. The Laura Lee Los Angeles liquid lipstick formula. It is nice, but I found that a couple of mine have just like gone super old and dried out pretty quickly. Like, okay, it has been a couple of years, but normally I can make lip products last longer than that, but not these. Like, some of them I still have and haven't dried out, but this one in the shade Jaybird just like totally like dried out super weird, so I'm gonna toss that one. This makes me sad because I do like the Buxom lip gloss formula, and I have one of them that I'm trying to use up currently, but this is Trixie, another Buxom lip gloss. I used to like have like 3 or 4 of these. I really liked them, and I do like it, but like this is a peachy gloss. I have a million peachy glosses, and I don't reach for peachy glosses, similar to why I don't reach for peachy blushes. Not a big fan of them. So this just never gets reached for, even though it's pretty. It's also several years old and probably expired and really probably needs to go in the trash. And this is completely worn off, but it is a Colourpop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick in Bumble. This is just, it's not, surprisingly, it doesn't smell expired or anything. It doesn't feel expired. It's a nice color. It's probably discontinued because that's what Colourpop does. But yeah, I'm just gonna pass this along to the trash can because it's old and because like I don't really like the Colourpop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick. This was the only one I had, or the formula. I don't like the formula, and so I'm gonna throw this away. Okay, I'm gonna get some makeup remover to wipe all my hands off, and then we'll move on to eyeshadow palettes. Okay, not all of that wanted to come off, but most of it did. So let's go ahead and go into eyeshadow palettes. Most of these I will be trying to pass on because I don't think any of them are too old. Well, maybe like 1 or 2 of them are too old to pass on, but we'll see. So this first one is the Jaclyn Hill palette X Morphe. Everyone has heard of this palette, I feel like, if you know anything about makeup YouTube. This palette, it's fine. Like, I don't really like the shimmer formula just because I'm used to like really bam shimmers, and it's mostly neutrals. So of course I'm not gonna reach for it, especially since I don't like Jaclyn Hill or Morphe. So this is getting passed on to a friend. I never reached for it, or I like had to force myself to reach for it. It's just like, it's so big. Like, so many of the shades are almost the same. I don't know why it has to be so big. And the little colorful corner doesn't go up to par with my favorite colorful standards. So it's like fine for an average consumer, but it's not fine for like someone that's pretty critical of makeup. Now this next palette, I like the formula, I like the brand, just the color story isn't really my thing. This is the Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place. I would not have bought this palette, except when I bought it, I really wanted the Magic Mini palette, or this is the Masquerade Mini, sorry. And when I bought this, I really wanted the Magic Mini palette, and when I bought the Magic Mini, they were having a basically half off sale. So the bundle for this and the Magic Mini was the price of just the Magic Mini normally, so I went ahead and bought both, thinking this one looked pretty too. And in the end, yes, it is pretty. The shimmers are nice. The color story just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There aren't a lot of like deep mattes in here. There aren't any deep mattes in here, and pretty much for the shimmers, like the colorful shimmers, there aren't correlating mattes or mattes that kind of make sense to go in with it. There's just like 4 mattes that look very similar, and none of them are colorful. Like, there's like one bright pink and a berry, but there's not like a blue. I feel like there needs to be a blue in this palette, so it's just not cutting it for me. It's pretty, but the color story just doesn't make me want to reach for it, basically. So I'm keeping the Magic Mini though, because I do like that one. This makes me sad to see it go because the packaging is so pretty. It's just not practical for me to keep it because I don't reach for it. And this is the Midnight Masquerade palette from Colourpop. It's so pretty, arguably, like it looks pretty, but then again it comes to the problem of like, these 3 kind of look the same. It's pretty, but I never reach for the pressed glitters. Sorry for blinding you. This is like the only really pretty shade in this like deep blue. And this, but like, that's not enough for me to keep it. Well, now that I'm looking at it and like swatching it, this is pretty. But no, No, there's like one look that I usually make. So I'm just gonna pass this on. I have too big of an eyeshadow collection to be keeping stuff because of really pretty artwork. Like, look at that pretty artwork, but I can still look it up and look at it if I want to. Don't need to look at it while I'm doing my makeup. So this palette was like bought right before the Kat Von D rebrand. So this is the vegan palette. The shimmers are nice quality. I just like it's a very uncohesive color story. I got this as a gift and never used it much just because the color story was kind of all over the place. So yeah, I'm just decluttering this. This is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. And if you know me, I have kept this around for a very long time thinking if I ever want to use neons, this will be the palette to reach for. But I'm never gonna use neons. Ever. Never gonna do it. And this formula would not be the best for neons anyway. I know the Laura Lee Los Angeles formula and it's great for neutrals, but I just don't see it being that good for colorful things. I've never used this, never gonna use it. I've swatched it though, so I can't like do anything. It's old, we'll see. I need to finally give it up because I keep keeping it around saying I'm gonna use neons one day and I'm never gonna use neons. The next one, I thought I was gonna declutter this, the ABH Norvina, but now that I think about it more, I wanna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. So I'm gonna keep that one. This is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. You will see all three of my Jeffree Star palettes in here. I wanted to keep them. I bought these like when I supported Jeffree Star. I do not support Jeffree Star anymore. I like the formula. It's good. It's not the best, but it's good. But like I'm the person that once I bought, even if I've already bought something and it's too late to return it, I still don't often use things from brands that I don't support. And especially like I would keep it if it was in normal packaging. I hate this. I hate it. And I know I could depot it, but I'm just not going to. So I'm just gonna pass it on. I have a friend that wants it. This is the oldest palette in my collection, the Smashbox Full Exposure. This is the one that's getting thrown away because it is old and the quality isn't the best. I used to think it was good, but I don't like it anymore because it's, you know, I have tried a lot better eyeshadows. Like I said, another Jeffree Star palette. This is the Bluebud palette. I used to like it. I was like, I don't have another blue palette, but now I have a ton of blue palettes and I'm even thinking about getting Ace Beauté Oceanic eventually. So I'm just gonna, like, I'm not reaching for it, even though it's all blue. Like, I have other blues. Even though I don't have, like, a full-on all-blue palette, I have other blues, so I don't need this because it's bulky. And lastly, for Jeffree Star, Blood Sugar. I was keeping this because I don't have another all-red palette. This palette isn't actually, like, a good representation of red, and I never use it. It doesn't even have a full-on red shimmer in it, which is ridiculous. Doesn't have like a bright red shimmer in it. So I'm gonna pass this one on. I'm the person that like when I look at what I'm decluttering, like I'm like, well maybe I want to keep it because I would never rebuy these because of Jeffree Star. But I don't use them, so I need to get rid of them. So this is the Violet Voss Best Life palette. I bought this on a whim at Black Friday like a couple years ago. Yeah. It's just not the best quality. Like the mattes aren't that great. The color story doesn't make full sense. I used to keep this because I was like, what if I want to use glitters? Because I used to be into glitters, but now I hate glitters, so not gonna use that, so we're moving that on. This is another one I didn't want to get rid of because of the packaging and because it was limited edition. This is from the first Disney collection Colourpop did. Again, beautiful artwork. Let's look at this. Does that look like something I'm gonna use regularly? The answer is no. So I'm passing it on because a bunch of light, airy, you know, pinky toned eyeshadows. Like look, that's like black on my lid. Not gonna happen. So the next one is the palette I bought just for its name, the Give It To Me Straight palette. I decided, you know, this is another one I just don't reach for a lot, so I'm gonna pass it on. This is the All I See Is Magic palette from Colourpop. If you haven't noticed a trend, I was trying to declutter a lot of my Colourpop stuff because I have way too much of it to not support a brand anymore. And this is, it's a pretty palette, but I just don't need it. I just don't need it. I don't use it that much, so bye-bye. This palette, I do like the brand. This is the Laura Lee Los Angeles palette. Like, I just don't use it. I used it a ton when I first got it because that was more my makeup style, but now I'm more of interest, so yeah, I don't use this, so I'm gonna pass it on. I still have Nudie Patootie though, because it's like one of my favorite neutral palettes. When I do want to wear neutrals, that's what I wear. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this declutter. I hope you guys liked it. Me talking about makeup I don't need anymore. It's me in the bathroom using the litter box, so if you hear that, that's what it is, but I don't want to wait until he's done to film the outro. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more makeup and kitten related content. I upload on Sundays and Wednesdays if I can, and if I can't, then I upload whenever I want to. Also, please make sure to leave any thoughts or questions down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching again, and bye!